we say if you can handle Shadow Burn. Why couldn't they do it? Finland did it with a tried to do it with a composition that was engineered to deal with Genji, but Shadow Burn, he is a next level Genji player, so even things that might work on paper have proven ineffective. So far, the closest team that has gotten to dealing with him was Team USA. And God's on that McCree, so it is going to be interesting to see how Korea is going to approach this.
It will be. I mean, talk about next level. I mean, Korea has a next level Winston and Miro, and Winston, of course, one of the primary ways to handle those Genjis. Arhan is a great Genji himself as well, so I think South Korea, honestly, is a pretty good matchup. We know they can play triple tank because we see it all the time over there in that region, so we'll see what they've got here on offense on Temple of Anubis. Arhan, for the moment anyway, on that Widowmaker.
Yeah, let's talk about Russia's composition, because this has been the composition that they preferred very heavily against Finland, with Unfixed on the Mei. And what was so great about watching Russia in that particular match in the semifinal was that they were alternating Dragon Blades and Blizzards so well to control the point, not committing too many ults to one moment in time. And it was Unfixed's ability with the Mei to create these huge zones and to control space that I think really was the highlight. Even though we saw amazing Genji play from Shadowburn, I think it was Unfixed that put Russia over the top.
Oh, here we go. South Korea coming in now. We'll see how quickly they can take point A, or if they can take it at all, really, depending on Russia's defense. Miro waiting for a chance to jump in there on that Winston. He's been good at breaking the defense. Goes in now to try to disrupt that platform, but immediately taken down by Reds. That is not a good start for South Korea.
Yeah, a little bit discombobulated on the attack right there. Arhan gonna have to fall back. The immediate pickoff, they do manage to take out Rubicon, which is a pretty big kill, onto the Ana. They get back onto the point. Korea running pretty traditional dive composition with the Tracer and the Genji and the Winston together. So they do get around the point. Miro's already back up.
Yeah, he's back again. Doesn't take long for the Winston to return to the fight. Unfixed still alive on the Ana, blocks off the door, grabs a health pack. We'll see how long he can stay alive, because in the end, despite that little misstep, South Korea looks like they're on track for a pretty quick point A take.
The one thing about Miro right there, yes, he probably should not have died on the leap-in, but what he did was he distracted them while the rest of his team got onto the flank and onto the point. They hit the back line super hard, got the necessary kills onto the supports, and that drove Korea to a very fast point A.
Wow, yeah, they made it work. Now Russia having to defend point B, but Korea with nearly 7 minutes to work with. We'll see what Eska can do. He's got that pulse bomb loaded and ready to go on Tracer.
And not going to be
a flank here.
Yeah, not going to be too useful until Zumba can get a little bit on charge.
But Rubicon!
If he can take out the support immediately like that, Rubicon not going to have that nano boost now, Doa.
Let's see, Graviton Surge comes in for Russia. They're trying to turn it around. They drop the Blizzard as well. Arhan pulls out the Dragon Blade. South Korea trying to get this fight back into their favor. A couple kills coming in for Russia, but Arhan not able to really find anything with that. Finally takes out Unfixed in the end. But it looks like for the moment, Russia will hold.
And that was a huge pulse bomb. But yes, Russia is going to hold. It isn't quite enough to push them over the top. And because of that big dedication to that attack, Doa, using the sound barrier, using the Dragon Blade, using the pulse bomb, South Korea is left with only a couple ultimates left over. Meanwhile, Russia, they have the all-important sound barrier on the Lucio. They can give that overshield, and they can weather the storm of a Graviton Surge combined with a nano boost.
We did see Unfixed drop his Blizzard there too, so South Korea might have an opportunity to get something going. Jaehong looking for some shots, and we talked about what an offensive threat this guy is on the Ana, keeping people healed, but also taking out the enemy. Miro gets a nano boost, goes in after Rubicon, gets slept immediately. Great sleep dart coming out from Russia. Eska, though, gets a couple kills with Tracer in the back line, and South Korea getting to fight this 6v4. Eska finds another one. Ana goes down. It's a good start for the red team. There goes Reds, and the Blizzard comes in. South Korea, though, getting time on that point. Shadowburn trying to turn things around. Can he be a hero going after Tyron? The Dragon Blade pulled out by Arhan, though, and Shadowburn with that nano boost may be able to do it. Gets his own Dragon Blade. Zumba getting a little bit low, but Primal Rage from Miro, and Shadowburn's going to have to back off. South Korea getting the first tick.
But
and they'll come back for more.
But not much else, Doa. They aren't able to actually cap the point right there again. They committed a lot. They tried to use the Graviton Surge, coupled it with the big bang, so they picked up 2 immediately. But they just couldn't get enough done. They couldn't get that snowball rolling on the point. Meanwhile, Shadowburn with that nano boost changed it right into a Dragon Blade. And again, though, it's Unfixed. It's the Mei. The Blizzard can cover nearly that entire point. So any headway that's made is immediately canceled out by that Mei ultimate. And Unfixed has been so reliable about getting damage down that he has the Blizzard up nearly every fight.
And Miro jumping in for a bit of harassment. Eska sneaking on the side, looking for Rubicon again. He has to watch out for those sleep darts. Backs away, takes some damage, goes for the health pack. Still has that pulse bomb ready to go. South Korea is building up some ults. J-Home 99% now. He's got that nano boost, so Korea may have an opportunity here. Unfixed though, he's got the Blizzard again. I mean, that ultimate comes up so fast, it's hard not to have it defensively.
Yeah, and it's been such a core to the way that Russia has been playing. They've got their two big ults, the Blizzard and the Dragon Blade up again, so here we go.
All right, sound barrier. Oh, they got the sleep dart onto Eska. Reds gets a couple kills on the Reinhardt. Blizzard used as well. South Korea pushed back almost immediately. Rubicon has been so good on the Ana with the sleep darts on this point B defense. I mean, Russia dropped point A fast, but so far so good for point B.
That's right. And again, Russia's control over their ultimates has been very good. Sure, they dropped the Blizzard and the Dragon Blade, but they're ready for the next push already. They have a sound barrier to deal with, and they have a nano boost. So they're not overcommitting, and they're trading evenly with Korea, which, when you're on defense on an assault map, is very beneficial for the defensive team.
We saw the nano boost go out onto Genji for Korea. Arhan, though, taken down. Miro in the middle of the point. He has to back away, and Eska still looking for a chance. The pulse bomb comes in, but he missed everybody. No kills from that. And Russia still pushing back South Korea for the moment. Goodbye. We're sending Winston back to the moon, I guess.
Oh yeah, Eska needs to change. I'm glad he switched it up here to Mei. The switch over to the Winston, the number of barriers that they have, the maneuverability they have, they don't really have much to deal with some of these big tanks right now. Reaper would have been okay, but I think Korea realized that they just need to counter Blizzard with their own Blizzard, thereby basically freezing both teams on the point and neutralizing it, because they're just not going to get through this Mei defense otherwise.
They're really kind of counting on Arhan to be the better Genji. He's going to pull out the Dragon Blade, though. Try to go after Russia. We'll see what he gets. Can't really fight Reds with that, with that Reinhardt. A little bit tougher to do that. Two Winstons primal raging on the point, though. We'll see who wins the battle. Looks like for now, Russia able to push South Korea out. And that's it. Yeah, J-Home manages to get one, but Unfixed drops the Blizzard, and he is just taking names, man. That is it. Russia holds again, and South Korea, they started out with near 7 minutes. They are down to just 2 now.
And another swap coming in for Korea. Arhan now on the Reaper.
I think you gotta.
I think you gotta deal with it. If ANAC actually going to switch back to the Zarya, though. So not going to have the Winston to deal with the Reaper, or the Reaper rather, versus the Winston, an unpreferential matchup for Russia. But now, Reaper going to try and get that ult charge down. Only a minute and a half to work with. They're looking at maybe one nano boost Death Blossom combo, depending on how fast Arhan can charge.
Time to sneak. He's got to be very crafty as he comes in from the side, goes after Reds, gives him a lot of damage to the back. Sound barrier comes in though for Russia, trying to keep everybody healthy, but there's the Blizzard all ready for South Korea, their own sound barrier, keeping them up, and that's a lot of kills coming in for Arhan. He's nearly got the Death Blossom, but I don't think he's going to need it at the moment. South Korea taking that point, and they may do it right here. They will. 2 points for South Korea on offense.
Yeah, very close, Doa. Korea, I think they were late to swap heroes there. I think that they waited a really long time to switch over to the Mei, to switch over to the Reaper. They were stubborn about sticking with this Tracer in particular. And that's been a trait of some of these players, especially I would criticize Lunatic High of sometimes being too stubborn, waiting too long to change. And we see a little bit of a slip in Korea's adaptability, and that gives really Russia a lifeline, considering that, as you said, they were nearly 7 minutes behind when they started the defensive point B.
Yeah, as we watch Arhan just tear apart the Russian team here, I agree completely. I think South Korea could have made those adjustments earlier and maybe come out with a little bit more in the time bank, but hey, 2 points is 2 points, and if they can defend on either of these points against Russia, they'll be able to take the map right here. As we swap sides, South Korea on the defense now, Russia on the offense, and Arhan looking like he's going to stick with the Genji. We've seen them run some kind of crazy stuff in the Bastion a little bit earlier, but looks fairly standard as far as South Korea goes here.
I think tactically, it would be a mistake for South Korea to try and run a Bastion into Shadowbird's Genji.
I think you're probably right on that.
That's a fast way for your Bastion to die. I think against certain teams like Finland that were running heavy tank loads, and we saw exactly that Korea in their match against Finland run the Bastion and fool them a little bit. You know, try and bait them into a range where the Bastion could actually deal a lot of damage to their front line. But in this situation, I think going with the Mei a little bit smarter, and South Korea is just going to sort of mimic the composition that Russia had last time, although they're going to do it with the Winston on Miro. He really does like to take over the high ground, and they almost always play Miro as their primary tank here on Anubis A defense.
That's right. Arhan again, of course, on that Genji, and I feel like more than anything, we've seen South Korea be so strong on defense on these maps here in Overwatch, and we'll see if they can hold it here as Russia goes on the attack. Shadowburn just looking for a little bit of poke on the side as he comes in, trying to build up that ultimate as best he can, and with no Reinhardt, South Korea is kind of vulnerable to that poke from Genji. And until Arhan comes in, Shadowburn has to run for it, takes a little bit of damage. So far, South Korea holding strong.
My ultimate is charged.
And with Korea, you always see there's somebody applying pressure, whether it's Miro going in for a second with a Zarya shield and the Winston barrier, or whether it's going to be Arhan trying to take over that high ground. They sort of just alternate placement, then they'll fall back and get healed up by Jaehong. So it really does keep the pressure and make it very difficult for Russia to push in, but they are making headway with the Reinhardt.
Yeah, and Unfix has been doing a great job of building up his ultimate with these right clicks. He's been landing them left and right. Unfix has to pop that ice block, though, as he gets in a little bit of trouble, blocked off by Eska's ice wall. Now he has to back away. Looks like he'll live for the moment, though. It's a main fight. Meanwhile, kills come in on either side. Arhan gets the nano boost, looking for a little bit more on the defensive kill side. Has the Dragon Blade available if he wants to use it. Anak trying to get to the point as the fight went pretty evenly. South Korea just went ahead and killed, and Anak in a bit of a dangerous situation. He's going to get fairly badly split spawned with the rest of his team, so that's going to slow things down a little bit more for Russia.
Yeah, even worse, Godspeed actually died after Anak there, cleaning up on two fronts at the same time. But right there, Rubicon, he couldn't get his nano boost off before being taken out. That was a big, big difference in that fight. Shadowburn didn't have the nano boost to couple with his Dragon Blade. And now we look at Korea. They've got the sound barrier nearly up. Godspeed going to be able to match that one, but Miro just being annoying from the top of the arch.
All right, I heard a Graviton Surge go down somewhere. It looks like Russia on the, or South Korea rather, with the defensive Blizzard as well from Eska. Looks like they don't need too much of it as Shadowburn taken out by Miro, and this is kind of the theory we've had the whole time, is that Miro's Winston is so good, and that's exactly what you need against a team with such a strong Genji like Russia has.
Not only that, they're targeting Rubicon here. They know he has the nano boost up 100%, but he falls so early in all of these fights. Russia needs to think about how they're going to start trying to protect Rubicon here. Unfix going to switch over to the Tracer, though, and they're going to try and get a flank, though.
Godspeed sending everybody in with the speed boost. They're going to send Reds deep as well. That Reinhardt Miro a little bit trapped on the side there. Godspeed has the sound barrier as well, but Zunba picking up the first kill onto Anak's Winston. South Korea defending the point as best they can. Reds swinging away, but he goes down. A kill for Tyron, getting a bit bloodthirsty in the support role. Zunba has that Graviton shield as well, or Graviton Surge rather as well if he wants to use it, but doesn't even need to. South Korea winning that fight pretty easily. You know, it seems like the longer things go, South Korea's kind of finding that rhythm, and that's what's so scary about their defense.
Rubicon died again, Doa, before he could use the nano boost, but that time it was Jaehong, the enemy Ana, sniping him from the back line. And Jaehong is such an incredible Ana player. Teams have talked about how he's such an offensive threat as well, and you see that. He killed Shadowburn and Rubicon goes down again without ulting.
A couple kills for Arhan already as South Korea tries to defend the point once again. Eska will drop the Blizzard and Reds is on his own. He will join his team in the afterlife, though, as South Korea cleans up the rest of this fight. There goes Anik. And it's exactly what you said, man. I mean, we saw IDDQD talking yesterday. He says Jaehong on the Ana gets kills you're not supposed to get. Somehow he makes it work, and he's making it work right now.
Absolutely, but that fight, though, when you lose your Ana early, it's basically Korea fighting with an additional ultimate for this entire map so far. And there aren't heals for Russia, so they go in and just get whittled down.
Oh boy, Dragon Blade pulled out for Arhan, gets hit with the Bionic Grenade, so he's in a little bit of trouble. Blocked off by the Maywall, he will go down. Kills coming in, though, for South Korea a little bit more. Ana getting a couple on that Winston. He comes in, he's got the Primal Rage.
It's just about surviving now, Doa. It's going into overtime.
That's right, trying to force Zunba off the point, trying to force everybody from South Korea on the point, but he gets hit with the sleep dart up on the ledge. South Korea, overtime ticking away, and if they can take out Anik, they should be able to win this map. Here comes the Diva, though. There goes Rubicon, and South Korea looks like they will hold this strong. Zunba gets a nano boost in the end. And as Reds falls, that's going to be probably about it. No, overtime keeps going. They come in one by one, but that's not enough. South Korea will take Temple of Anubis.
Pretty commanding performance there. Their focus on Rubicon, taking out Russia's Ana player in the back line proves fruitful.
Yeah.
And Russia's going to have to really think about how they're dealing with defending their back line. Russia as a team throughout this tournament has been used to going in, has been used to just following through on nano-boosted Genji ultimates. But when you have such an aggressive front line, and we talked about this before with Korea, their strength is in the synergy between their tanks and supports.
Right.
And when they can just shut down the enemy support line before the fight even starts, it is incredibly difficult to have an extended engage against them.
Well, it's a great way to handle it. I mean, it's rather than handling Shadowburn, this amazing Genji player, go after Ana, go after the vulnerable support in the back line and take down Rubicon. Then that Genji never gets that strength that he really needs to make those big plays.
Absolutely.
Oh, Aron on the Genji, I mean, what can you say? 32 eliminations, 5 deaths. This guy was just wrecking people as usual. We're used to seeing it from him.
Yeah, and he's got such a deep hero pool as well. Typically a projectile DPS player for the Africa Blue team, if you guys are unfamiliar.
Yep.
And we are going to switch it up now. Second map in our best of 7 will be King's Row.
That's right. Going to King's Row, Russia on the offense first off this time. Korea, of course, on the defense. And we will see if Russia can get any sort of momentum going here in this best of 7 grand finals of the Overwatch World Cup. It's been an awesome tournament, hasn't it?
It's been a lovely exhibition, though. Fun to see all these different professional players and entertainers from around the world come together here at BlizzCon. And as excited as I am about this, I'm even more excited for the Overwatch League next year.
Oh man, that is going to be so great. I wanted to just take my finger and draw a smiley face on the trophy to show my joy. I'm sure they'd appreciate that. And who's that guy? What do you think?
He looks kind of sleazy.
Maybe
he's giving you
it's
like a
his house.
sleazy grin.
I didn't see what building that was in. There's a couple buildings in King Row that could be. One thing's for sure is he hates Omnics, because apparently everybody in King's Row hates Omnics.
Is that right? Well, I'm glad you could just...
All the signs say that.
That's all the signs say.
That's right.
Just tar the people of London with one brush, though.
Well, at least in
really...
this part of London anyway. Just, you know, I call him like I see him, Monte Cristo.
Korea going to be going for typical Beyblade composition. Misfit style, May and Reaper. So 2-2-2, and Russia at least showing again that they will be running the Genji.
Yeah, as usual. So
same comp. Russia's just been running this same composition for the majority of the playoffs.
Yep, that's right. I mean, they haven't need to change. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? We'll see. South Korea can break it. They look pretty good on Temple of Anubis. Shadowburn and the rest of Russia coming around the outside here, going on the high ground as they move over. Trying to slowly edge their way around. Shadowburn going in now. Arhan getting a little bit too far forward, but it's going to be Miro actually. He gets caught out a little bit. Kills coming in for South Korea either way, and Eska claims the final blow onto Shadowburn. Looks like Russia routed for now.
Yeah, they tried to go in through the upper part of the hotel and the main gate at the same time.
Yeah.
Ended up with a flank from the Reaper, basically eliminating ANAC from that fight instantaneously. South Korea coming in with a pretty big nano-boost advantage right now as Ryu Jae-hong nearly at his ultimate.
Looked a little bit dangerous as Miro got brought pretty low, but he was able to be kept alive, which is a big part of the hold there. Maywall protecting Russia as they come in. Eska has a blizzard. He's just going to jump right away. Oh, it actually got trapped behind the car, so not the positioning he was looking for with that. Looks like it's going to be enough. Tense moment there, but that blizzard has a pretty big area, man. Red's on the point, though. Bit separated from the rest of his team. He's going to go down in the end. A punch to the behind from May, and that's enough to take down Reinhardt, apparently.
Wow, that taxi park there really messed up South Korea. That ult not as effective as they would have liked it to have been. But
who parked that there?
Yeah, who parked that there?
What kind of jerk? Come on.
It should be easy to, you know, tow that taxi or just push it out of the way. It's floating, right?
Yeah, serious. Do you think Reinhardt could just move that over a little bit? It's so rude. Shadowburn's got the Dragon Blade ready to go. Arhan, though, gets a kill on Anik before the fight really begins. Shadowburn goes up. That's usually when he pulls out the ultimate. He will, as the Blizzard comes in as well. Jaeho goes down, but he gets a sleep dart. That's going to mitigate the rest of the ultimate. And so far, Russia still pushing ahead, but it could be going better. Sound barrier for South Korea as they try to hold on here. Eska loses another member of his team, and he's going to have to back away. It looks like Russia should get point A.
Yeah, South Korea there, Tyron dropped the sound barrier a little bit too early. There wasn't any major threat. They sort of instinct countered sound barrier for sound barrier, but Shadowbird's going to go down. He gets picked off.
Can they actually turn it around? Zimba gets back in. He's got the nano boost as well. South Korea, I can't believe they're even fighting this. Look how close it is. Nano boost though onto Reds, and that. Oh, he gets hit with the Earth Shadow though. Miro back in there again. And South Korea, they're actually going to hold point A.
Wow, the comeback, even on that long run back. But that was a positional error from Shadowburn. He got picked off.
Yeah.
And his 6v5 started nearly immediately. Shadowburn actually going to get picked off again
Well, you
on the respawn by Miro. But
I never see teams try to hold that point. That was crazy.
He got greedy, though. Shadowburn got greedy. South Korea probably wouldn't have rushed that otherwise. They were setting up for a defense at the choke point for the payload, maybe a little bit of poking. But Shadowburn, he wanted to throw some shurikens out there. He wanted to get that Dragon Blade back, and his entire team is going to pay for it.
That is rough. Eska drops a blizzard as he gets engaged on Russia, trying again for an offense. Rubicon goes down early. Arhan pulling out the Dragon Blade as well, going after Reds. He's going to take him out. Blizzard not doing a whole lot to South Korea as most of the kills on the feed are looking pretty blue.
Yeah, they are, and they're going to try and come back in, but ANAC, the last one there on the Winston, he will go down, and that's going to be a delay here for Russia. They only have 25 seconds left to make their next push.
Man.
And they've got one ultimate, two now with the Primal Rage.
All they need is that one last tick of the control point, and if they get full health here, that is a tragedy. Earthshatter comes out, they grab Shadowburn, he pinned him, Miro got the pin on Shadowburn, and now Eska has a nano boost, he gets pinned as well, but he's gonna live for the moment, and South Korea decimating Russia. Looks like they will hold. It is overtime though, as Anik jumps in with that Winston, with the Primal Rage, Graviton Surge used, Arhan just guarding the gate, and Korea will full hold on King's Row. What an unbelievable defense from these guys.
Yeah, and the synergy is just maybe not there for Russia. Smile on the face of Rubicon right there, but the Genji gets caught by the Earth Shatter right at the start of that fight. Charge finishes him off, and that was one of the few ultimates they had to work with, Doa. So
I know.
Eliminating him, Miro, really huge play to ensure that Russia was not going to be able to cap that first point on King's Row.
Only 2 charge kills in that round, but one of those was a game-winning charge kill right there. If Shadowburn had been unleashed, I think Russia may have well been able to take that last tick here. But now we flip side, South Korea on the offense, Russia going to be on the defense. And all South Korea needs to do is take point A. They don't even need to push the payload anywhere to win King's Row.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, South Korea showing the composition that Russia likes to use. And I do wonder if this is a bit of salt in the wound here, because
maybe
Korea is definitely mimicking the playstyle of Russia in this map, and they are besting them with those same heroes.
You know, I feel like we've seen this in other games over the years as well, too. When the South Korean team feels pretty confident, they'll start to just use the opponent's composition against them, just to kind of rub it in a little bit more.
Zuma going to be up here on the Widowmaker, maybe looking for that first shot. Probably just scoping to see what their composition is going to be. Sees a Reinhardt, sees a Zarya. That's about it so far. And he'll probably drop down and swap back over to the Zarya in just a second.
That's right. And as we wait for the gates to open, all the pressure is on Russia right now. It is a best of 7, so we've got a lot to go, even after King's Row ends. But going down 0-2 to Korea, that puts you in a difficult spot, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Russia has to full hold. The best they can hope for is a tie at this point.
Well, we will see if they can manage, as South Korea getting ready. Of course, Widowmaker dropped. South Korea going back with a bit more of a normal comp. Eska, of course, trying to charge up that ultimate on the Mei.
I can see Eska there just shooting some icicles to zone off the high ground, and everybody going to creep forward. Several members of Korea up in the top of the hotel, and they will drop down and take position, but nice shot from Unfixed. Yeah, that's going to ruin the attack from Korea immediately. They're going to have to just back off, try and get some poke in, and charge some ultimates.
Yeah, Unfixed, I mean, we talk about Shadowburn a lot, but Unfixed has really been one of the heroes on Team Russia these last 2 weeks as well. Arhan, though, not deterred at all. He's just getting aggressive, trying to harass as much as he possibly can. Forces Unfixed off of the ledge there.
Well, Russia's being slowly pushed back, though, and that's the thing, is that Armon is opening up a lot of space here for Korea to inch their way forward towards the point. There's a Mei wall.
Oh, there's a pin too. Miro finds Unfixed, gets the kill on that Mei. Arhan comes in now. Russia finds himself shorthanded, and South Korea looks like they're already on the verge of taking out King's Row. I think that's it.
I think that's it too, Doa. The point's ticking up. Russia has to get in there as fast as they can, but Godspeed, the last to fall. He is hunted down by Miro and Zunba. Shadowbird can't reflect that Zarya left click, and there's the Mei wall stopping the Winston from coming in.
Just like that, man.
In under 2 minutes.
Just like that, South Korea up 2-0 in this best of 7 over Russia in the grand finals of the Overwatch World Cup. And they're looking pretty dominant, aren't they?
I mean, the question is, at the Overwatch World Cup, is South Korea even going to lose a map?
That's the thing. They have not dropped a single map all tournament through group stages, quarterfinals, semifinals. Nobody has been able to even take a single game off of these guys.
Yeah, impressive stuff. And an undefeated run would be a truly surprising result, even if Korea came in as a big favorite in this tournament. So,
I mean, because everybody knows about South Korea's domination in a lot of other esports, right? But it's not quite like that in Overwatch yet. Despite what this looks like, there's a lot of good, teams from North America and Europe that are certainly on par with the best teams in South Korea. We're seeing it right now in the Apex League that we're casting. And so it's a little bit surprising, I gotta say, to see South Korea do so well. But you gotta hand it to these guys. You gotta hand it to the fans of South Korea for putting together such an epic team, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the way this final is going, Doa, we may actually see that Team USA was the best competitor against South Korea on their playoff run. They did at least have that very close map on Eichenwald.
Yeah.
And Korea's pretty much just run everyone else over on their way to the very first Overwatch World Cup victory.
Yeah. And we are moving on to Dorado, our third map already. It's an escort map. Going to push that payload, and Russia will be the ones pushing first.
So Korea going to set up with Eska on the McCree. So a bit of a mix-up here for South Korea.
All right.
Eska obviously known for his excellent McCree play, but that hasn't been something they've showed yet in this particular series.
If all of those Ziggurats are Lumerical power plants, how much power does this village need? That's a lot of power plants.
They export the power, Doa.
Oh, okay,
That's
a good
idea. They use
idea.
power lines. It's a local industry that powers, I assume, a lot of Mexico, right?
Or those are some pretty intense lights for the festival. That's the other option there. We don't know. That's right. And of course, guys, hashtag T-Mobile MVP and vote for your favorite player in this grand finals here at the Overwatch World Cup. A lot of names to choose from on both sides. I gotta say, for me right now, my MVP is probably gonna be Jaehong. That Ana is so good. His sleep darts, his offensive capabilities. I might be biased. I'm the bloodthirsty support, but that's my call. It's my pick.
I do think Jaehong has been excellent, and I think unfortunately, we didn't get to see a lot of first-person Ana view, but I know the analyst desk is going to look at some of those Jaehong plays. That's my challenge to you, and show, especially on Anubis, all the work that he was doing to help out deal with Russia's backline. So let's see him come in. Baywall goes down immediately.
Yeah, broken as well. Russia going with the comp we've seen them use quite a bit of already. Eska firing from the high ground with that McCree. So we'll see how the defense goes. Pretty typical defensive position for South Korea right now.
Yeah, not going to try and fight too far forward. Saw a little bit of that yesterday. Didn't end up very well on Dorado. So now taking the typical position right here at the arch, trying to spam down with the Reinhardt, trying to spam down the Reinhardt shield actually with the McCree. Waiting for that ice wall to go away, and it should be just a pretty static battle here as both Reinhardts try and keep their shields up for as long as possible.
Yeah, so we see most teams push the payload right there and then loop around to the side. This is a little bit better engage angle. Oh, but Unfixed hit with the sleep dart. Dangerous moment there, but he is woken back up again pretty quickly. Reinhardt goes in. Miro kind of on his own. Nice wall from Unfixed to try to trap him, but they don't quite get the kill yet. Ooh, that was a big fire strike through the middle of Russia, and they're going to have to back away and heal up a little bit. So South Korea, no kills even in that fight, but enough of a positional advantage to push Russia back for the moment.
Yeah, they move over, try and eliminate that flank play. You can also see Jaehong and Eska and Arhan sort of floating between the archway and that flanking position on their right-hand side.
Yeah, when we see Eska play the McCree, usually Arhan will be the Mei then on South Korea.
Yeah.
ready to cut off a few members of the team as they come in with that wall.
It's different than when he plays back in Korea on Lunatic High, because he is both the Mei and the McCree player.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end up very well when they have to have both at the same time.
Oh, here comes Shadowburn. He's got the nano boost as well, but they dropped the sound barrier just in time. There's a sleep dart. Shadowburn in trouble now. Jaehong takes him down. Arhan, meanwhile, getting some time. Oh, but he's frozen up by the blizzard. Kills coming from South Korea, but that was a big earth shatter coming in from Reds, and it looks like Russia is going to be able to push the payload a little bit. Wow, it backed up really far, but now they've got some time finally to move it. And yeah, throwing down that wall just to stay safe. Jaehong handling Shadowburn, but overall, Russia doing a good job in that fight.
Reflected the flashback right there. Bit dicey for a second, but not going to get punished too hard as Eska, and he's going to take out Shadowburn, knowing that there is no reflect left.
And Eska is quite a danger on McCree. Rubicon getting very, very low. Eska needs to be careful too, though.
Miro just took out two. Hit one with a fire strike and takes out the other with his hammer, and now they're going to back off once again. And though the difference between Russia's play, between the semifinal and now, is that Russia now has to commit to both using the Blizzard and the Dragon Blade at the same time.
Very true.
Which means that they have fewer opportunities to go on the offensive. They're waiting longer. They can't stagger them because Korea's defense has been so stout that they really can't afford to save these ults.
Well, it's down to 1 minute now for Russia already. They're in danger of being full held again on the second map in a row. And now South Korea will go in. They'll drop the Blizzard down. Arhan and Jaehong picking up kills already. On his own, and Zumba gonna laser him down. Looking for the kill now onto Unfixed, who swapped over to that McCree. But Russia, you know, aside from one kill onto Jaehong, really not able to get anything going.
Yeah, I think Russia's smart to try to switch out some of these heroes, try something new, because the Mei and the Genji strategy no longer functioning properly. But they have to put Shadowburn on the Mei now. Unfixed is the McCree player on this roster, so this is it's a bit of a double swap there, and there's so many ults from South Korea now on the defensive side of things that Russia's gonna have to have a hell of an engage.
Graviton Surge, they do catch 3 in that, but the sound barrier comes in from Tyrong immediately. They're gonna give the nano boost over to Reds this time on the Reinhardt. Anik backing away a little bit. Tyrong and Eska grabbing kills for South Korea, so that engage not doing quite enough as South Korea just picks apart Russia in the back. And now, time running out. That is going to be it, and it's another full hold in favor of South Korea.
That's right. Russia can't get to that first point. The defense is too strong from South Korea. And I think the most critical thing that Korea did in this match was start to play that Mei on Anubis, having the answer to unfixed Blizzards, which really propelled them through the playoffs so far. Just being able to trade means that every time South Korea has an opportunity to Blizzard for Blizzard, and then the rest of their ult economy has just been better managed. They're getting the crucial pickoffs. They know which targets to select in order to minimize the ult usage from Russia.
Yeah, I mean, like 25 or 20 to 5 kills overall there in the head-to-head stats at the end of that match. It just doesn't get much more one-sided than a round like that. And now South Korea, they only have to push the payload that far to win on Dorado and take a 3-0 lead, put themselves 1 game away from winning the Overwatch World Cup.
Yeah, it's just a little bit into the market there past the archway. Russia going to go with Unfixed on the Tracer now.
Man, I got to say, our observing has been great this tournament. Can you guys give it up for the observers here at the Overwatch World Cup? They've been doing an awesome job.
Yeah,
they really do deserve a lot of credit. This is a tough game to observe. They've been killing it.
It takes 6 of them to create this production. They've been absolutely wonderful.
Yes, they have.
Let's see here on the defense. The setup already on the high ground. We'll see what Unfixed can do on these flanks and where his targets are going to be. I guess they really want to take out Jaehong if they can in the back line.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Jaehong on the Widowmaker for the moment. I've got a feeling he might
just
swap over there, although it'd be pretty funny if he's stuck on it.
Might as well just go full sniper.
Hey, why not? Yeah.
Who needs the heals if you can just take them out instantaneously because your aim from the back is godlike?
I think Eska can play a mean Widowmaker too, so we'll see. South Korea, though, with a pretty standard composition here. Eska, again, on that McCree as they get the payload going. And remember, they do not have to push it very far.
Interesting, the that Miro's going to be going for the Winston here. You don't necessarily need the Reinhardt on point A defense on Dorado. Usually you have, or point A offense, usually you have it on defense.
Oh boy, that
this is going to be a sneaky flank.
Sneaky scientist coming in to the back lines. I don't think Russia's going to be expecting this. South Korea is pushing. Yeah, Arhan down though. And so Russia holding strong for the moment. Miro has to rejoin his team. Ana getting a little bit low, but he's going to be able to back off successfully. And it was a cute idea. It was a nice little flank, but Russia was ready for it. Zumba with the kill onto Unfixed though, as it's turned into a little bit of a brawl here.
Now Shadowburn has to get that Zarya barrier as his Reflect not going to stop Zumba's damage, but they're still pushing it though. Miro managed to get out of that situation, and they got the kills, and they may just win right here. There's the Nano Boost though, onto the Winston.
Yeah, Nano Boost onto Reds onto that Winston, but he gets taken out by Eska, who's got that Deadeye up. Meanwhile, South Korea trying to keep pushing. Ana goes down. I don't think there's much Russia can do.
Tyrong has been Nano Boosted. The Lucio Nano Boost. Skating through, styling it right there, and then taking a seat next to the fountain. Didn't matter. Korea managing to zone them out, get the initial kills, then zone them out for the rest of the time with the Deadeye, and that's it. Korea up 3-0.
Yeah, just one more game separates South Korea and the gold medal here at the Overwatch World Cup. And I gotta say, doesn't seem like there's much stopping him, but we're gonna give these teams time to regroup, guys. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, Game 4, don't miss it. We'll be right back after this.
The Overwatch World Cup is sponsored in part by Intel, T-Mobile, NVIDIA, and Republic of Gamers.
What's in a name? Well, that depends on what you do with it. Put it out there. Get good with it. Like, really good. Get it on a team. Get it on a big monthly check. Make your whole city know it. Check that. The whole world. Get it on the back of a champion.
That's your name.
Better yet, become a champion. What's in a name? Well, that's up to you.
Everything that I do in my life is working towards getting on to the big stage of video gaming.
I don't want to get second place this year. Like, I'm going for first. I won't be happy unless we win.
My name is Andrew Rodriguez, and I go to University of Texas at Arlington.
Daniel Lee, and I go to University of Connecticut.
My name is David Young, and I go to school at University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
My name is Michael Udall, and I go to ASU.
Heroes of the Dorm is an amateur tournament focused on college teams, playing not for prize money, but for tuition.
This is my first year competing in Heroes of the Dorm. Gaming at first was just a hobby, but now it's kind of evolved into part of my life.
I grew up in Mesa, Arizona. Gaming was definitely frowned upon.
I would think, gee, what a waste of time. You guys ought to be studying algebra or anything worthwhile.
My parents used to hate when I played, but now they're like, this is so cool, you're going to Seattle for playing a video game.
Hello and welcome to the Heroes of the Dorm Heroic Four. Here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, 4 college teams have come to battle it out.
We started over a month ago, and now we have Tennessee, UT Arlington, UConn, and Arizona State.
We all felt really good after the win, but we came here to win the whole thing, so the work's not over yet.
You don't reach that level without the dedication and the focus and the endless hours honing your craft.
It's going to take a determination and discipline, just like succeeding in anything in life.
It's intense. That's the best way to put it. Until you play the game and try to excel at it, you have no idea.
An outlet like that where students come together and share the same interests. That's what it's all about.
This was the future of esports that we imagined.
Taking a lot of damage, he blows up in a matter of seconds.
Shot low on HP, but the boy with another
they are going for the core. They're going to be able to save it in time, and it goes down. GG.
The Overwatch World Cup is sponsored in part by Intel, T-Mobile, NVIDIA, and Republic of Gamers.
Welcome back to the Overwatch World Cup. We are halfway through the finals. I'm going to be optimistic and call it halfway. We are 3 matches in. South Korea is currently dominating Russia. What happened to Russia? What happened to Shadowburn, Jason?
Right, so that was the big talking point of the entire series coming into this, is how well is Shadowburn going to perform against this team of South Korea, against a team who can kind of eliminate him. And it came down to a couple different factors. It came down to Miro, first of all, not only pressuring him, because you have a Winston Azari to compete with the Shadowburn amongst the other damage dealers, whereas Arhan, on the other hand, only had a Reinhardt and Azaria. But it also came down to how we limited the stream of healing that could come his way, and I think Reinforce can kind of explain that.
Yeah, that's something we noticed in Rogue when we went to South Korea, that in South Korea, the Winston uses his shield to block out healing. You know, if there's a shield in your way, the Ana can't get any healing done, the Lucio can't even get any healing done. So you have to play around the shields. You almost have to play a disengaged game, because you have to make sure your healers can actually assist you, and that hasn't happened here.
Right. Golden Boy, you're just joining us on the desk here. Tell me what you think.
That's right. Well, for one, I just wanted to say, of course, it's about time. Okay, I mean, let me look at this face. You want to put this face on camera as much as possible. I'm kidding. Everyone on the internet hates me and in this room. But I do want to, it's a face for radio. That's a good name. That joke has been used numerous times on me.
Beautiful.
Anyway, but I do want to say, though, a huge shout out to Jaehong on South Korea, because, you know, you mentioned about the healing before and how critical that could be, especially when you're able to block it out. And I think he controlled that whole, like game 1, it was just incredible. Like, supports don't get enough love, right? Yeah. And I'm glad that even, you know, Mani and Dora were able to say, like, look at this guy and, like, look what he's able to do, because he's really been a difference maker for his team.
Absolutely.
And speaking of, we actually have a replay that we can throw up on your screen to kind of show you why he's so good at what he does. He really controls Shadowburn to an extent to not let him close gaps. And that's what we talked about with Tavik, actually, when we were over at the Overwatch APAC premiere. We asked him, like, how do you deal with Jaehong? And he says, well, you don't. You actually ignore him for the most part. You don't try to engage against him. And we're going to see why, as we're going to pull up the clip on King's Row in particular. It had to deal with positioning out of Jaehong on Ana and Shadowburn trying to close the gap. And we can just start the replay, but I want to show you the pressure that Shadowburn has on his shoulders of trying to somehow get to Jaehong and deal with him. So let's get this one going, and you're going to see how many shots go his way. Almost every single bullet out of Jaehong connects. And when you're playing Genji, and you can go into this Reinforce, this is so frustrating. Every time you hop up, every time you come around of a corner, this man knows where you are and where you're going to be going.
I mean, just looking here, this is so good awareness. You always know where Shadowburn is about to go. I mean, Shadowburn pretty much given no space at all here. So I think, I mean, this clearly shows that South Korea has Russia figured out, no doubt. So you need to change things up. And you can go 2 ways here. We saw Unfix switch to the McCree on Dorado in the ending. Maybe do that a bit more reliable, you know, from the get-go, you know, get something going there. Or you can try to get Shadowburn, give him a bit more space, maybe on the Winston, because on that position, which we saw Jaehong on the replay, he's standing on a platform, you know, and it's easy for a Winston there, for example, to jump up, you know, knock him a bit around, and, you know, that gives space to Shadowburn. He can go to the point, he can spam, and get that ultimate going. So either you lean more on Unfix, maybe switch to the McCree and switch off the Mei, or you lean on a Winston maybe instead of a Reinhardt, and you give Shadowburn that space he needs to create this chaos that Russia are famous for.
One thing I do want to chime in here with, though, is that it is so easy to read Russia, right? Everyone in this room knows what Russia is going to do, right? It's Shadowburn. He's the superstar. He's the guy, right? And of course, you know, you could talk about Unfix. He's another fantastic player as well, who, you know, I personally feel didn't get enough credit on this Russia roster. But the team even plays around this, right? And it's kind of just been like a running joke. I mean, I was talking to Mr. X in the back, and he's like, dude, just 1v6, right? Just Shadowburn versus the world. And it actually feels like that sometimes. So for Shadowburn, there's a lot of pressure on him here. And again, just to go back to that point with Jaehong, like when you're able to execute with Ana like that, and not even, because everyone always thinks about Ana's healings, the nano boost, you know, they think about the Bionate, they think about those things, right? But the damage, putting that damage down and not allowing Shadowburn to get any movement, I thought that was just absolutely incredible.
Oh, and one of the things that I think, you know, if we want to look at our teams from a long view and see, you know, what has consistently been best, it's the team that has the biggest picture in mind, I think, when it comes to these matches. You see South Korea, you see Ryong telling where Genji is, calling out that whole thing, always an advantage point, always communicating with their team. You see something similar with Russia, where they have a grand plan as well. They're revolving around Shadowburn, and so they always have to know where he is and attack. And that's, I think, where a lot of the other teams fall apart. But if Russia can change their pivot, if they can send Shadowburn out as that distraction, and as you guys said, switch over to Unfixed, have somebody else come in and do a little bit of the damage, I still think there's a shot for them.
Yeah, I hope Russia, realize what's going on here. I mean, South Korea is the first team, I think, that's really cut off the life support for Shadowburn here. I mean, Shadowburn isn't given the space he needs, he isn't given the Zarya or the Ana healing he needs, so we'll see if they change things up for the next match.
And you even saw it in Dorado, too. You actually did see that switch up, right? Unfixed went over, I believe he went to McCree, and then Shadowburn went to May. Like, I think they're just realizing we can't just rely on this one thing. We got to work together now and make this happen.
So my question is, when you're in this situation, do you pull out like a Reaper for Shadowburn? Like a Reaper May combo to actually allow Shadowburn to get in a position to carry? And also the fact, I mean, you can answer this better than any one of us here. You're down 0-3 in the series. Do you go for the Hail Mary, or do you just play what you know?
I mean, Hail Mary is... sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, sure, you can do it, but I don't think it's reliable necessarily. I think May Reaper is a possibility because it's a very reliable composition. I mean, it pretty much always works. I mean, I talked about going into the game, you know, Zarya and May. So it's a pretty famous combo, you know, because once you get that Graviton Surge going and the Blizzard, you know, it's pretty much a lost fight. So I think it's pretty reliable, yeah, but I question the Reaper a bit because we've seen Arhan switch to the Genji, and he's doing such a good job on Genji, you know, because he's given space. I mean, there's Shadowburn on the Genji, and there's Unfixed on the Mei. There's nothing to stop Arhan, really, and Arhan is just given this space. So, yeah.
I mean, what is the Hail Mary for Russia here? I think the only thing that I haven't really seen them do is go vertical, you know? They don't use too much of the space above, and so maybe a Pharah, maybe...
That's the Hail Mary is they get up, and they go across the stage, and then they steal their mouse and keyboards. And that's the Hail Mary.
If
I
it
would
works,
do it
it works.
100%. I think it
That's
would
why I
sound
actually
great.
had to bring Golden Boy up here.
Yeah,
He was over
I
there
have
messing
the
with
top tier analysis, folks. No, I mean, honestly, at this point, like, you just got to, like, throw darts in the dark and see what happens.
I think you have to maybe go... I mean, the weirdest possible I can come with is like Tracer, Genji, Winston. Because it kind of worked for United States, right? They played with the Tracer. Tailspin was amazing throughout the series. Maybe if Russia can do something similar, but again, like if they threw out the Hail Mary here, I mean, they're down 3-0. They have to win 4 maps in a row. I don't think it's reliable to maybe just play one map and just switch things up, because then you have to play 3 more maps, and you can't just rely on Hail Mary for
and you have
4
to
maps
wonder,
in a row.
like, how
Sure.
easy is it for them to change the entire way they play? Because the entire exhibition, they've been playing, let's have Shadowburn, let's have him go in, let's keep him healed, give him all the ultimates we possibly can, and he can carry the match. But I don't know if you can make such a hard switch like that in such a crucial moment of the finals.
I think Russia has the competent players to do it. We've seen them play throughout the tournament. They played a triple DPS composition. We saw Anak on a Reaper, on a Winston, on a Zarya, you know. So they can definitely change things up, and I wouldn't really doubt them that they will do badly on it. I mean, so I think it mostly comes down to the fact that Shadowburn is as good as he is on Genji, and I think you kind of have to play with that if you're going to win the series versus the potentially best team in the world.
Well, everyone at home, if you want to lend Russia your energy, or you just want to support South Korea a little bit more, we still have our T-Mobile MVP going on. So use the hashtag T-Mobile MVP and add the battle tag of your favorite player in this finals match here, because the MVP of this finals match is going to get a little something special. Yeah. So guys, do you have MVP choices here? And either team, I mean, who are we still keeping an eye on to pull out good performances?
I'm actually going to go because, you know, I'm a tank support guy, so I'm going to go with Jaehong for sure. I mean, you got to give this dude love. Give the support some love. That's all I'm asking for. So people of the internet, do your job. Give supports love. That's all we want.
The crowd here agrees.
Thank you, crowd. Thank you for supporting me.
See, I'm actually with you on this, but I want to give it to a different round, to Tyrone, the guy who's like a coach for 2 different teams, one for Korea, one for China, to come in to play at this level for Lucio, and also have these weird, wacky kind of compositions with like Symmetra Torbjorns, and to help carry the team.
I agree with you both. Supports are great. But I'm going to go with Sunba. Thank you for playing Lucio, guys. Everyone who plays Lucio and Ranked, you're my favorite guys.
Supports are great, but I'm going to let you finish. All right.
Sunba is one of the best Zarya players in the world.
You guys are such South Korea fans. I'm going to give mine to Unfixed, because Shadowburn has a lot on his shoulders, but Unfixed could come out here and really change things up for Russia. So let's go on to our next match, our 4th map of this matchup, and back to our casters, Monty and Doa.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Doan, Monty, Chris, are here ready to get things started with map 4 between South Korea and Russia. South Korea up 3-0.
You said ready to get things started.
Yeah.
I think you meant ready to get
started
things
with the
finished.
4th game.
I think ready to get things finished with map 4
I was
is
getting
where
to that.
we're at right
I was
now.
getting to that.
I think it's a reasonable prediction for
You
what
just
we've
take
seen.
the hype and you just
Just
drive it right
crush
into the
it.
ground.
Just take it and
Hype killer Monte Cristo. I'm used to
pop the
this.
hype balloon.
I've dealt
as
with this
fast
for
as I
years,
can.
guys.
Yeah.
Years of this. Well, anyway, I'm with Golden Boy, man, and I'm support the supports, right? That sounds catchy when you say it, even.
Yeah, I think Jae-Hong's been absolutely amazing this tournament.
Well, Lijiang Tower, Hanamura, Eichenwald, the next 3 maps, but we may not get too much farther than Lijiang Tower because South Korea has been absolutely crushing Russia so far. And we'll see if this is where it all ends for the Overwatch World Cup. It's been a great exhibition match, but unless Russia gets something big going, gets some real momentum started, it's all over right now.
I absolutely agree with what Reinforce said on the desk. I think you go, if you're Russia, you try and go May Reaper. The Beyblade composition is reliable. You can wipe out an entire room by pressing Q, 2 different people pressing Q, the Ana and the Reaper, and there isn't a lot of counterplay to it right now besides extended chains of CC from the opposition. So
well, I agree completely because we saw Russia run that comp earlier in the week and they did great. I mean, they still played around Shadowburn on the Reaper just as well as they did with Shadowburn on the Genji. So I do want to see that switch. We're not going to see it right now as we go into Garden here on Lijiang Tower. Shadowburn still on the Genji. He's a monster on this hero, but South Korea's got it handled with their own monsters.
Arhan also going to be matching the Genji right now, dashing through the members of Russia.
Yeah.
No deaths yet, just poking from each team.
Yep, that's right. Shadowburn on the side, looking for a little bit of ult building with the left click. Miro coming up with that Zarya shield, and now Shadowburn going, and he's slow though. Has to be so careful. Arhan coming in for the kill, gets forced back by Reds, and they're able to take out Arhan early on. South Korea though on the point, building that up, and Shadowburn going after the support. Now Zumba, not the support. Everybody's the support now. Yay! South Korea though will. He is now. We're all supports now. South Korea though loses the point to Russia early on, and we'll see if they can take it back. Nice ice wall from Unfixed to keep them out, but South Korea, they're going right back in.
Yeah, they are. Arhan gonna get that reflect, jump through the wall. Ice block used by Unfixed. Blizzard already up. He's gonna catch and kill Eska and Jae-Hong immediately.
It's brutal. Zarya shield comes in at the end, but it's not enough. Unfixed got that Blizzard so fast, and he has really become the hero on this May, as it looks like Russia will be able to hold the point for the moment. South Korea, though, may be able to get it back here.
Yeah, and
Unfixed goes down, and they'll take it.
I mean, what we didn't see was Miro getting into the backline again and taking down some support players, so they are going to eventually flip over this point as they drag in Shadowburn, and actually, the early death right there. Eska going to try and zone him off with the Deadeye, and that's going to cause a cap here from Jae-Hong on the Ana, sitting on the point.
Yeah, so South Korea with a little bit of catching up to do for one of the few times we've seen it in this tournament. Here on this control map, Arhan getting the healing bullets of love. You know, I wouldn't want to be on Ana's team because at the end of the match, you're just going to be covered with syringes. That does not sound fun at all.
It's like mobile acupuncture,
I guess so. It's getting popular these days. Oh, goodbye, Reds.
Reds was just knocked off the map by Miro in a primal rage, so that will delay the next push in. Should give about 10% more over to South Korea. He'll still roll it through, and both teams with a lot of ultimates up and available at the moment. Miro already nearly 70% in.
South Korea immediately for South Korea. Arhan pulls out the Dragon Blade, gets taken down though. He gets pulled into the Graviton Surge as well. Now that's South Korea's. Arhan gets up, takes on Red Eska with a couple kills there, and they'll hold the point again. A full team kill, 6-0 in kills in that last fight.
You can see they're used to watching Shadowburn's Genji play. It's been said before, but he likes to dash directly upward when he comes in. And they caught him with a Graviton as he entered the fight with that dash, able to focus him down quickly and eliminate that Dragon Blade threat before the fight could really begin. And now
Rubicon gets a little bit low. Red so forcing Miro out, and this is one of these points on Lijiang Tower where if you take the control point, you can just go to spawn. You can really camp them pretty hard, and South Korea is doing a good job of that so far.
Yeah, they're controlling both of the bridges, and Russia needs a new strategy. I think they need to push it from behind with the Reinhardt shield. They're trying to make it over there, but Miro is just cutting them in half, and he's on top of Rubicon again.
Wow, Arhan takes out Rubicon, and how do you make any progress where as soon as Reinhardt moves up, Miro is in the back lines going after your supports? Well, they're going to try anyway. They lost somebody early on, but Miro now in the room with Reds, Biotic Grenade, removing the healing option from that Reinhardt reload, and there he goes. Meanwhile, on the point, the Blizzard comes in for Russia, trying to take it. Miro drops a shield, turns around. He's got that Primal Rage if he needs it, but I don't think he's going to. There goes Godspeed, and the Nano Boost already on Miro. He's going to pop the Primal Rage too. It doesn't matter. The point is over. South Korea takes it.
We saw this, Doa, from Korea yesterday. They punish your engages through choke points so hard with Miro. They will just cut your team in half. And if you're not speed boosting properly with your Lucio, Miro will just get in there, bisect the enemy team, and collapse on one flank and kill your supports.
Yep.
They've been doing it this tournament. And no team has been able to have an answer for this kind of aggressive play because they're all strung out in a line at that point, and you have to have very good communication for going through every single choke point on the map not to be abused by Korea.
I mean, it's tough to say what might be good. You know, maybe you can possibly bait Miro in and then focus him down, have everybody be ready to turn. But
yeah, you have. That's exactly it.
I think that's what you have to do. But so far, you know, Russia hasn't been able to quite make that happen yet. Now we do have the Shadowburn finally switching over to the Reaper. A little bit better hero on this map anyway as we move into control center here on Lijiang Tower. And already Miro's just trying to jump at the back lines. There is no stopping this terrifying scientist.
Yeah, he just gets back into the lines every single time, and he coordinates so well with Zumba's barriers that he'll just jump in and out of the fight when he has his barrier up, when he has the enemy barrier up. Does get taken down by ANAC, and Russia
2 for 2.
Yeah, got to be pushing forward. It ends up being 3 for 3 in the end, but Arhan still on the back line. ANAC gets some damage down with the particle cannon. And they're going to walk up, but Korea's still playing back on the point. They are going to get the first cap.
Yeah, Korea will go ahead and take control of the control center, appropriately named, in Lijiang Tower. Now Russia coming back in again. Reds is there. Arhan has the Dragon Blade, and he's going after Godspeed. Pulls it out. That leaves you in a bit of trouble. Tries to boot back Genji, but he's only going to survive for so long. Wow, he actually does make it through there. That was a very nice handling of Arhan, actually. Meanwhile, the Blizzard goes down on the side, and Russia is able to force South Korea off to the point. They haven't taken it just yet, but it's getting close. But here comes Miro with that nano boost onto Winston. Got to worry about Eska on the side, too. Nice shot by Rubicon. Takes him down. Meanwhile, Reds forces back Miro, and it looks like Russia will hold for the moment.
Yeah, they will. And crucially, Doa, Russia didn't have to invest that much when it comes to ultimates. They're going to have the Beyblade ready. The combination, as we like to call it, between the Reaper, rather, and Ana ultimates. But he's going to fall early. Tyrong actually manages to pick up a kill.
Yeah, Shadowburn not able to really get any damage done on that Reaper. Zumba comes in on the Zarya as well. Wait for it. Unfixed still alive on the Mei, but not any longer as South Korea will take the point back yet again. That didn't last long. Only 26% gained by Russia there.
It's okay, Doa. They've got the ultimates to retake it. No defensive ultimates, although Tyrong is getting close. Russia has to move quickly if they can get the Zarya combo down with the Beyblade. They can take this back.
That's right. They can send Reaper spinning in there with the ultimate. There's a nano boost. He's looking for it now, but South Korea splitting up beautifully. They're going to drop the sound barrier as well. And look at that, Shadowburn not really getting anything done with that. Meanwhile, South Korea comes in and Arhan cuts Russia to shreds.
So they read that so well.
They really did.
Knew that those two ultimates were up, and they took a position on the high ground with Tyrong there just to boop the Reaper back when he tried to get up higher and closer to get the Beyblade and the Death Blossom damage off. So it was just instantly neutralized. Goodbye, Godspeed.
Godspeed.
Yeah, Godspeed.
And Miro just single-handedly holding the choke as South Korea kind of mills around by the doorway. Meanwhile, Graviton Surge use. South Korea, they're already near 80%, and they are not letting Russia get close to the point.
Oh, I mean, they're just knocking him back, spawn camping him down. And that's about going to do it probably for us, Doa.
I think
Russia
so.
has to make use of this Blizzard, but they're going to have to throw it down right at the entrance here, not in at the point like they would like.
Well, 90% now as Arhan gets the nano boost. Going to go in yet again, try to handle Russia. Kills already. Shadowburn does take down Eska. They drop the Blizzard as well, and Arhan frozen up as he pulls out the Dragon Blade. He went down before he got it, but it doesn't matter. South Korea takes the control center. They are one round away from winning the Overwatch World Cup.
That's all they had to do. A few percent left. Just stall them out for long enough. Force them to fight in the Blizzard at the choke point. The Unfixed can't get back into the control center fast enough to delay it, put it into overtime, and now, as you say, we are 1 point away from a South Korean sweep here, not only when it comes to matches, but in terms of games as well.
How do you play Winston in 2 points already on Lijiang Tower, only die once? How do you do that?
How do you play against Shadowburn's Reaper and only die once
Yeah,
as
or
a
his,
Winston?
or his Genji, either way, either one, man. That is crazy. That's Miro, though. I mean, he's so good at being disruptive, but also staying alive.
Yeah, and credit to his team as well. Couldn't do it without Zunba and Zarya and Jaehong.
Yeah, already Miro jumping in. As we move on to Night Market now, what could be the last round in the entire exhibition match. Miro on the side, though, pops a shield, and he is just electrocuting everybody. Man, South Korea just tearing Russia to shreds here.
It's those kind of tricks are what we see from Miro's Winston play. He knows exactly where he can maximize the Tesla cannon damage in a choke point.
Yeah.
And he knows all these weird high ground ledges that he can jump to and then just rain chaos down from above. So we see him there, very calculated vertical jump, gets the jetpack on top of the side, hits 3-4 people with the Tesla cannon, and just burns them down slowly.
You know, and that's the thing about the points on Lijiang Tower too, is once you get forced back, it's tough to escape spawn sometimes. Russia taking the smart path, I think, around through the side. Eska has that Deadeye ready to go, though, so it's going to be hard to cross that area from where they are now to the point.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just controlling the space. They are all spread out right now.
Yep. Hard for any combos to come out. Eska backs away, he gets a little bit low. Meanwhile, there's a nano boost onto Arhan. Gonna look for the kill. Oh, the flashbang missed. Yeah, he threw it a bit too early. Arhan gets 3, looking for another one. Gets 4, gets 5. Zunba looking for one himself. Eska picks it up to finish the team fight, and South Korea already near 50% here on what could be the last point in the Overwatch World Cup.
Absolutely, a team wipe full right there. We're gonna take a look at this flashbang miss.
A little early.
Yeah, threw a little bit too soon, a little bit too close to his feet, and then just cleaning everybody up there after. And now we're going to see another push right away.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Russia has to get something started right now. Miro coming in, though, going to use the Primal Rage. He's got Russia right where he wants them, and nobody really going to get close to the point, it looks like. Miro still tries to get out. Sound barrier used by Russia as they try to stay alive. South Korea responds in kind, unfixed. Over on the McCree now, gets taken out by Arhan yet again. Meanwhile, Arhan gets that nano boost, doesn't need to use the ultimate, getting the kill. Zunba picking some up as well. You are not prepared. The spray says it all, and South Korea at 90%.
And Arhan never misses an opportunity to show us the you are not prepared stray.
Oh, yeah.
And this is it. There's a Torbjorn at the point right now. Unfixed has officially given up.
All right, I guess that's it, man. It's a victory left for South Korea. Arhan pulls out the Dragon Blade. There goes Russia. Overtime activated, the closest they've gotten all series. But this is it. South Korea will win the Overwatch World Cup without dropping a single map.
Wow, Noah. Wow. That is truly an amazing feat. Coming in, Korea. We saw them at APAC. We saw Lunatic High falling to Rogue, falling to the west. We wondered how fast the Koreans would arrive in Overwatch, and they are here.
Man, they certainly are. What a performance by these guys. And again, you gotta credit the Korean fan base for voting these guys in. Then for Miro, who I believe was the captain, for picking up a player like Tyrong, this great coach from South Korea, and a decent Lucio player. You know, we're all a little bit of a decent Lucio player, so he's able to get in there and get the sound barriers at the right time. And how about Russia? Man, the dark horse of this tournament. Nobody expected them to get this far, but they had Shadowburn, they had Unfixed, they had this entire team that played so well together, and they really put on a great show as well.
Absolutely, and showing exactly what a star player that Shadowburn can be when given those resources. Shut down in the finals, but it took a pretty dedicated effort by Korea to do so.
That's right. And Stromberg showed up. Hey, what do you know? She's been released. At least to the stage, anyway. Golden Boy handing out the gold medals. And pretty soon, we'll get a chance to chat with our champions. That's going to be fun. I'm really curious to see what these guys have to say about their experience here, about preparing for this. You know, you and I watch. As soon as they were ready, they were practicing 24/7, and now it looks like we're ready to send it down to Golden Boy on the stage with our champions.
Hello, hello, everyone. Guys, give it up for your champions, I should say. South Korea. Now, of course, this has been a momentous occasion, so joining us is the granddaddy of them all, Mr. Overwatch himself, Jeff Kaplan.
Thank you, Alex.
We are so proud of South Korea. They showed how Overwatch can be played. They took it to new levels. But we want to congratulate all of the players who came out to the World Cup. Let's give them all a round of applause. It was fantastic. And thank you to all of the fans who voted for and supported our Overwatch World Cup players. But South Korea, congratulations, the day is yours.
Thank you so much. Now, of course, we have one more award to give away, folks, and that is your MVP of the match. And give me a warm welcome for T-Mobile CEO, John Ledger.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations to both teams on a great tournament and an incredible final. What I wanted to say is that T-Mobile's thrilled to work with you, the fans, on picking the finals MVP. And I wanted to point out that that MVP is also going to get an invitation to the inaugural Overwatch League Combine. And the winner of the MVP is Miro.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for your champions of the Overwatch World Cup, South Korea! And of course, that is going to do it for us here at BlizzCon. It has been an incredible weekend, incredible opening week. Guys, have you had a great time watching some Overwatch this week? Please, let's make some noise. Come on. All right, folks. That is going to do it for us here. To all the talent, to everyone working in the back who makes this event possible, to Blizzard who created an incredible game, Overwatch Esports, the Overwatch League, and all of these amazing things are just the beginning of competitive Overwatch. The future is now, folks. Are you a hero? We'll see you in the Overwatch League. Take it easy and have a great night from BlizzCon.
Overwatch World Cup is sponsored in part by Intel, T-Mobile, NVIDIA, and Republic of Gamers.